I'm Trish Kirby with MVP Realty, and I want to bring you a special segment today. I am here at Burnt Store Animal Hospital, and I have been wanting to bring you a segment for some time on moving your pets to Southwest Florida and the things that you need to know to keep them safe here. I'm here with Dr. Justin Kerr, who is the owner of Burnt Store Hospital, and his colleague Dr. Tim Combs. I'm going to let them speak to you a little bit about some of the medications and some of the different things that you need to look out for, wildlife, landscaping, and such. And can you share a little bit about what we need to be on the lookout for in Southwest Florida?
Sure. So we've always had a great seasonal population come down, and we've made it a point to give proper education and things like that so that we can take good care of our furry friends. Lately, I think that's been even more, so we sure appreciate you guys coming down, but we do want to share those things with you. First thing we run into, we've got our little critters, our fleas and ticks and things like that. They don't have a die-off in the winter. Okay, so typically I know, some of my friends up in Maine and that sort of thing, wintertime, you don't have to get prevention because you don't have mosquitoes, you don't have fleas, you don't have to worry about those things. Down here, it is a 12-month-a-year situation. We've got to provide the proper prevention, and that's both a heartworm prevention, which usually covers your intestinal worms, but also something for fleas and ticks to prevent sort of tick-borne diseases and tapeworms and things like that. Also, because we don't get a die-off in the winter, our little critters down here are really tough. So we do have resistance to certain medications. And that's certain flea and tick medications, even certain deworming medications, things like that. So you definitely want to consult your veterinarian in the area and just sort of touch base and see what sort of things they recommend, what they've seen based on experience, so that you're on the right products to protect your pets. Another thing we'd certainly like to be cognizant of is going to be our wildlife down here. Of course, wherever you're at, you're going to have certain concerns regarding wildlife, especially up here in the Punta Gorda area. We've got everything from, gators in the lakes, which can get a hold of small pets, even some bigger pets, believe it or not. We've got powerful birds that can pick up small creatures. Not typically cats, they're pretty gamey, but little Yorkies and things like that. And unfortunately, they tend to drop them, and that can be a really serious complication. Otherwise, we've got the New Guinea flatworm here, which is an invasive species from South America. It carries a microbiological entity that can cause meningoencephalitis, which is a very serious condition for both people and pets. One thing you want to be especially cognizant of is leptospirosis. It's a corkscrew bacteria. All mammals can carry it and infects every part of the body. What that means is it can be shed in the urine, tears, blood, saliva, that sort of thing. And it can also be transmitted very easily. It concentrates in stagnant water. So given our area with the wildlife, the standing water, that sort of thing, it poses quite a large public health concern, and it can be vaccinated against. So you can protect not only your furry friends, but your human family as well from that entity by just talking with your vet there.
Is that something where if they're just drinking out of a puddle, they can get it?
They sure can. Yeah, anything. Even just walking through a puddle, you've got a little crack in a paw pad because you went running around on the lava rocks, and all of a sudden you've got a systemic infection. Unfortunately, a lot of times, by the time we realize we have it, pretty good systemic damage is done to the liver, the kidneys, the blood cells, and that sort of thing. And so we're sort of behind the 8 ball by the time we get treatment.
Mm-hmm. That's it, and you bring up a good point too about their pads with the heat, that a lot of people don't realize that you can't walk, if you can't stand on the pavement barefooted yourself, that you shouldn't be walking your dog.
Yeah, there's an old adage, it's called the 5-second rule, not the one where you eat ice cream cone off the floor. But essentially you put the back of your hand on the pavement, and if you can't tolerate it for 5 seconds, or if it builds up in heat and starts to scald you, then you don't want to let your pet walk on that concrete. So I think that's a pretty good rule for people moving down.
That's awesome. That's great information. Do you have something you'd add with this, Dr. Combs?
Hi, my name is Dr. Timothy Combs, and I'm an associate with Dr. Kerr here at Burnt Store Animal Hospital. In addition to some of the topics that Dr. Kerr discussed, there's some other critters and organisms to be cognizant of. Florida is more or less a tropical region, so we'll get a lot of different sort of resistant insects as well. You got your palmetto bugs. You also can worry about your different types of lizards, and these lizards may possess salmonellosis inside their gut. And if your pet eats them, they may be exposed to salmonella. We also see a lot of allergic reactions for dogs that are eating insects, such as, all your flying stinger-based bugs, your fleas, your wasps, but also the palmetto bugs. So allergic reactions, and so on and so forth. Another major thing that we see here is bufo toad toxicity. Where you'll have these toads when, especially in your damp seasons and rainy seasons, will come out, and your dogs will lick them and or chew them, and this can lead to neurological abnormalities as well as seizures, vomiting, and that can be an emergency.
Sure.
Absolutely. So I guess a heed of caution is to always keep an eye on your pet when you're outside, not leave them unattended here in Florida.
Absolutely.
Sure, and what some people don't realize is also it relates to the plant life here. Certain things that we take for granted here, the palm species, namely sago palm and cardboard palm, which people use for landscaping in and outside of the house, are deadly to canines and people. Thankfully, we don't eat them.
Right.
But certainly, I've had some cases of canines that ingest a sago palm, and no matter what we try, there's nothing we can do for them. So a little bit of prevention there is going to be paramount.
Sure, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much landscaping and flora we have here that is poisonous.
Sure, absolutely.
So definitely a lot of information. Anything else you guys would add for us, or have we kind of hit most of the topics that are concerned?
I think a lot of people that are coming up from up north may not have experienced year-round seasonal allergies, but here in Florida, since there's no seasons, seasonal allergies, environmental allergies may be worse than these pets. So we see a lot of allergy-based cases each year.
And that's going to be ear infections, skin infections, the bright red, chewing at the paws, that sort of thing. Fortunately, we've got a lot of really good medical interventions that can prevent some of the scar tissue deposition, some of the pain, the infection, all these sorts of things. And I think ultimately, when you move down, just like, you want to get your own physician, you want to get your own dentist going there. I think it's very important to talk to somebody locally who can spend a little bit of time with you and just go over these little things so you know what to look out for. You've got someone, that you can contact if you have issues with that sort of thing. And certainly if you're anywhere around this region, we'd certainly like to help with that as well. So Burnt Store Animal Hospital has sort of made it our mission to educate people so that they've got that, that knowledge at home, and so they know, is this an emergency? Is it not? Does it have to be seen? Do I at least need to make a phone call? And we make ourselves available to be a resource in that regard.
And I can vouch for you guys as well, because both my Woody, my cat, and Izzy, my dog, have both been under your care for some time now, and we've been very happy and love you. And you're not that far from Cape Coral either, so 15-minute ride straight up Burnt Store Road, and we're here and can put our trust in you guys. So we appreciate that as well. So if you are looking for a veterinarian, please check out Burnt Store Animal Hospital. And if you're looking for a home, give me a call, Trish Kirby, MVP Realty, 239-980-3065. Thank you guys, both of you so much for your time. We really appreciate your graciousness, and hopefully we bring some good educational information to the folks who are moving down here.
Absolutely, I like it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks.